It is my great pleasure to welcome you to Shark Pond, and we are hosted by the wonderful Stelzer family, who has already sponsored 4 entrepreneurs. So we thank you so much for your support, and we are so excited to be here with you again. We have 2 excellent entrepreneurs lined up, Leticia and James, and so we look forward to hearing from you a little bit later in the program. So what we'll do is we'll start by asking the Stellzers to introduce themselves to you, so you can get to know them. They're wonderful, nice people that are cheering for you.
And it's my husband, Matt, and I'm M'Liss, and we live in Idaho. And I saw on James's information that he had been doing some classes through BYU Idaho, I'm assuming online. So where we live is about an hour and a half away from BYU Idaho. It's really cold here. We've been getting some snow. And I stay at home and do a lot of cooking and take care of the chickens and the pets and the kids and the husband. And my husband is a pediatrician, so he is a doctor who takes care of little kids. And that keeps him very busy because the little kids keep getting sick.
Yep, especially at this time of the year. So we're very happy to be here and excited to hear about what you are working on.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you. So it is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Fix-It. So we will just really quickly look at James's business plan, because I know everyone has looked at it before. It was very well done. And so this is James, and he finished auto mechanic school and has been in business for 6 months. He has a profit margin of around 50%, which is great. And he is looking to get some tools that will help him take care of the NBS bank fleet of cars there in Blantyre, Malawi, as well as his other customers. So these are his products. Fixes engines, gearboxes, all of those things. He loves mechanic work. There he is working on an engine. And he will use the money to purchase a diagnostics machine that he can use to help figure out what's wrong with cars, and then to also buy some tools. And he has listed the prices there. Income statement. So I love that he has very conservative forecasts for his sales. These numbers look very solid. You're supporting a lot of people, so we applaud you for that, for being the patriarch of your family and caring for your aging parents and others.
Right, thank you. So my name is James Mwale. I'm from Blantyre, Malawi, and I'm doing BYU Idaho. I'm studying auto service technology. That's about servicing cars and sort of like that. I started mechanics way back in 2013 when I was working with a family friend of my father. There we used to fix cars. So in 2014 I went on mission, and when I came back, in 2016 I came back and start again the mechanics as well. So I was working with a friend. So I'm looking forward to opening up my business and making it bigger.
And looking at your income statement, it looks like you have maybe employees. Can you tell me about what your business structure looks like?
All right, so I have one employee to help me with the work. I have him just because he better understand about cars, and if I am working somewhere, he can be able to work on the garage as well. So I can be able to work I can be able to acquire 2 works at a time, because he's a professional as well. He knows what he's doing.
Great. So I imagine you learn from him as he works for you.
Yes, sometimes I do.
Okay. You're looking to get some tools. What have you been using so far? It looks like the tools in the picture I see look like a lot of wrenches and power tools, pretty complete looking sets. What have you been getting by with so far?
So we have been using hand tools, so manual tools, a lot of manual tools in Malawi. So if I want to use like a power tool, I'll have to go and borrow it from someone so that I can use it. So, but also these new cars, new brand cars, they need us to use those type of tools. They have special tools. So I want to buy those special tools to be able to help me with those new cars.
That makes sense, especially when you talk about getting a diagnostic machine where a lot of modern vehicles require you to plug in order to get the diagnostics about what's going on with them and how to fix that.
Yes.
Which is pretty more technical than I can possibly imagine, really. It looked to me like the rent, your workshop rent was going to change in the foreseeable future on your income statement. Do you own your own garage or rent it from someone else, and is that going to change?
It might change because right now we are working on we are renting on a private place. It's a house, and we just rent it from there. From there, like a backyard.
Okay. And can you tell me about the supplies that you use that are mentioned in there? What kind of supplies do you have to purchase on a regular basis?
So we have to purchase the light bulbs, hand wash supplies.
Okay.
Yes, and a lot of the oil.
Is why the engine you're working on in your picture is so brown. Is that the color of the roads in your country? I thought it was made of wood.
Yeah, it's
brown.
it's the color of the dust. It's a red dust.
Okay.
That's terrible.
Well, I thought you might want to ask where he went on his mission.
Oh, yes. I wanted to ask that.
That's what I thought.
Where did you go on your mission?
I served in South Africa Johannesburg mission.
Oh, so good. Our daughter's in Brazil right now on her mission.
Leticia makes tasty shito sauce, and I had to have her explain what that is, but it's a very, very popular dish in Ghana, especially among the students that go away to their boarding schools. And so what I want to do now is just kind of walk through her business. She is planning to expand and go into grocery stores more seriously, as well as visit the boarding schools. So she currently does all of the production. So a great portion of what she plans to do with the loan money is purchase ingredients in bulk directly from the farmers, so she can get a much better price. This is what the bottles look like after she has prepared them and sealed them. And she is looking to get a hair dryer, which is how they make the seals hot to seal up the bottle. She's going to spend $300 on ingredients, on packaging, doing some marketing, some advertising, so she can explain to us what the advertising is, because they use a message board, which is something that we're not as familiar with. These are her prices of her individual ingredients that she plans to get. And so this is a little bit of an explanation about the Community Information Center. She has her income statement. Leticia, please introduce yourself and let's hear more about your business.
Hi, I'm Leticia Dansua. Estes tasty shito is a dark sauce here in Ghana, which is made up of onions, oil, dried fish, shrimps, and then some natural spices.
The hard question for me is, what does it taste like? But I'm not going to try to put you on the spot about that. It looks delicious, but I'm curious, are there other foods that you make, or is this a specialty for you, the shito sauce that you make?
Yeah, this is the only special shito I make. It's a dark sauce that I sat down to make it myself.
But it sounds like, looking at your proposal, like maybe various uses, or from what you're saying, you use it in different ways. Is that true?
Yes.
So shito, just as its name goes, is a dark sauce, spicy Ghanaian native food. And most popularly, it is used in the secondary schools, in boarding schools, and also at the universities. And so the shito becomes more or less like a stew that you can use it for 6 months to even 8 months, getting to 1 year, if you are able to preserve it well, because there are more oil in it.
I had a question too about your expenses. It looks like you have to cook the shito and some of the onions, but you didn't put for expenses electricity or fuel for cooking. Do you use propane? Do you use electricity?
Yes, I use electricity to sew the can.
Do you cook the shito?
Yes, I cook the shito using gas. We have something we call gas over here. It's in the cylinder. So I plug and then I put the saucepan on it. It consumes a lot of gas.
Yeah, I didn't notice that on your expenses. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see an expense for gas or fuel for the canister, because that can be very expensive. The more shito you make, then the more gas you use.
Yes, please.
The other question I have is preserving the shito, because it has onions in it. Do you have to use it right if you don't use a big pot with hot water and can? Well, here I can things in jars, but because the onion can have bacteria in it, you have to either use vinegar or something acid, or have to put it in a big pot with water and pressurize it. So how do you make sure that the bacteria isn't growing in the shito?
Okay, so here in Ghana, we prepare shito by grinding all the onions, put together with the ginger and then the garlic. We grind them together. It makes it a bit longer. It stays a bit longer until it's fried in the oil.
I wanted a hairdryer to seal the lids. Have you used a hairdryer? Is it hot enough, or would you perhaps need a heat gun? Something hotter.
Okay, so the hair dryer is simple and then it's easy to go.
I'd wondered, sometimes when we heat plastic, my son has a heat gun. It looks just like a blow dryer. It's just hotter and faster. Blow dryer seems the one that I have. But I think if you look at the blow dryer and the heat gun, it would be easy to get mixed up and make your hair go on fire, because they look just the same, but one is very hot and they are about the same price. So I just wondered if the heat gun would be faster and easier. It sounds like you've used a blow dryer and it works all right. So
the reason I use the hair blower is because you see the heat gun is very hot. It will melt the rubber.
okay.
So the heat blower is a little lower.
The questions about other costs. I think I can understand from your business model why you might have some significant transportation costs, because you have to deliver your product to the schools and to the supermarkets. But maybe you can help me understand a little bit more about the advertising cost, because it sounds like you might be using forms of advertising that I'm not as familiar with.
The communication center is like a place that they have these big megaphones. They have the big megaphones, and they've mounted a tower. Sometimes in the community, they have about 3 or 4 towers at different locations that they have joined through a wire to their console where they are having their office. So if you send your product there, they make advertisement in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, so that it will be spread across the community. And
Let's turn it over to the Stellzers to share some news.
Well, as always, I was impressed and happy with the presentations that we had today. I think it's always interesting to get a little window into the culture in Africa, which I've never visited, and feels like a universe away from me. But I do appreciate the time that you put into this and the efforts that both of you have demonstrated. I'll say that I understand cars much more than I understand food, and I'll say that
I understand food more than I understand cars.
which is probably why we get along. And I'll say that I can totally get my mind wrapped around what you're trying to do, James, and what this can mean for you, and why this would be so useful. It must be an exciting time to be getting your business off the ground and to be studying at the same time. And I really respect what you're doing. What was you say?
Oh, well, for Leticia's business, I think, as we pointed out, that particular line of work is one that I understand more, because I do a lot of the food preparation here, and I do can and make sauces and fruit and put them in jars. I know that the time that it takes to produce food for people, it's very time consuming, and to make a quality product takes a lot of time too. And I appreciate that you're helping to not only feed and take care of your family, but even feed students in other schools, because they do need that nutrition to keep their brains going while they're studying and to have what they need. Also, the sauce does sound very delicious, and and flavorful sauces as well on our food. And so I think it sounds absolutely like a very wonderful business.
So I feel like it was a difficult decision for us to try to decide where we would have this loan go. And instead of trying to make a decision, we decided that it would probably be best in our minds if we awarded the loan to each of you.
Oh, thank you so much. Right now, I don't have a lot to say. I'm just so happy, and I pray that God will bless you more. That's all I can say. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy. I'll do my best, and then at least I'll send you some over there.
To the Stellzers, oh my goodness, I just am constantly touched by your generosity and the great spirit with which you help your fellow man, both here in our side of the world, as well as across the world with people who you just barely even know because of Ben Davidson and his marvelous Shark Pond Service Project. Thank you for being so generous and for showing these folks that they can have the opportunity to really get ahead and become self-reliant